Okay. Welcome. My name is Brian Knight and I live near Melbourne in Australia, and it's just turned 5:30 in the morning here on for me, it's a Friday. For Darren, it's a Thursday evening. So, oh, you're not in the car today, Darren, too. Okay.
No.
Right, let's just share this to start with. It's just a disclaimer and a risk disclosure. Just a welcome to this analysis session. So, yeah. All right. Interesting stuff happening. It's good. So let me just share back onto, just share. Wait a minute. Yeah, I'll share over training view to start with. So my C trader still up about 20%. This is Euro AUD. Yesterday, we looked at this. It had created a swing high, faltered and pulled back down. It came down and broke this structure. And then the last 24 hours, it sort of pulled up and done a small pull down. So it turned green around about just before this is on the 3-hour, green just before the London Open. And this is still red on the daily though. Okay. Welcome, Paul and Alistair.
Brian.
Yeah, thanks for dropping all those links in, Alistair. Interesting stuff. You know, it's just what you're following and traveling, which is good. There's a lot of work in that, Alistair. Or you just, or is it? It's just what you're doing on an ongoing basis, though, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah. I've been out today and I got back late because I had to go to the hospital more. But yeah, I've been looking at zones and mitigation zones and stuff. Quite interesting.
Yeah, order blocks and all the rest. Okay.
Yeah, targets and stuff, reversals.
Yeah, you're looking at targets from a perspective of take profits and or entries. Is that what you're really?
Both.
Is that what for both? Okay, no worries. Yeah, no, it's cool. And how many of them mitigate or push through those targets? Or
well, this is the thing. I'm thinking and looking at even just today, the ones that are mitigating look to be a bit more responsive and interesting than just because order blocks often are just a sort of longer point, I think. But
yeah,
I've been doing it with looking at this 2 a.m. line and doing it off that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a few bits I could send up if we're interested in it, but we'll see.
Okay, no worries.
It's easy looking at it after the event because when you're looking at it live, you're not, and it goes through the base of the block. It's, you know,
it's always easy to look after the event, Alistair. Retrospect is a wonderful thing.
Be aware of this.
Yeah. So if we just look at the Euro AUD, and if we're working off the daily, for example, you can see the pullbacks that occur and then continuation, pullback. What is it going to do? And I think I had this, discussion with Darren, or we were talking about it yesterday. It's like, okay, what could you do? Could you get out if you're in a buy for a significant amount, would you get out of the buy? Is this now a swing high where it's going to continue down? And this was right here was basically when we were on yesterday. Then after we had spoken, I did say this could potentially pull up, and then yesterday morning, and my morning and through the day, it just pulled back up. and it flipped over. It would have been in that sort of Asian Tokyo before London, and then it started just pulling back up. There's just the end of New York pulling back down a bit. We'll see. And if I look at, I don't know, what did you do, Darren? Did you get out of or did you get knocked out of the trade? What, you're in a Euro AUD? Yeah.
I think I got knocked out at break even, I think.
Yeah, you said you had a break even on, but I didn't know where it was, but that's okay. So I've stayed in there.
I think I was in it for a buy over to from last
correct.
week, and then it turned and knocked me out.
Yeah,
break even. Yeah.
But is this one of like, okay? So from perspective with this strategy, you probably can't allow for this. Depends on where you've got in the trade. I've got in the trade down here somewhere. Like, it doesn't matter. It's pulled back that, well, it does matter because it reduces profits. When I look at the daily, and I keep saying this, what's this? Is this? Anyway, this lineup here is more of a target as far as I'm concerned from the daily. And if I look, and the more you look at the daily, the more what has happened. All right. Oops, just a word of that. Since, back down here, really, the start of April, and then again, middle of August, this has just been pushing up, and you can see where it's broken previous highs over here, where price is now. Oh yeah, rightio. Where price is now, go back and look at those alerts. There are potential, that's the next stage there, and that's the next up here. And these are ones I've marked off from ages ago, right? There are also two other potentials when it comes down, or when it starts turning down, we'll have that. The thing is, all the euros, but particularly Euro AUD and Euro NZD, have been in a buy trend for a considerable amount of time. So in people's heads or in the market would be saying, this has got to turn, 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 it's got to start coming back down, right? Simple. And this strategy is not, it's not like well, from my perspective, in the way that I trade this strategy, it's not about being reactionary to this the 3 hour is where you take the trades, or even lower time frame. But the point is, I'm still seeing this potentially push up further. Euro AUD again, I'll keep saying AUD as a currency, and NZD and JPY are not strong. So it will, oh gosh, there's heaps at this time. A lot of alerts. There's a lot of patterns that are popping up at the moment. For potential turns, we'll see if you might need to sort of get rid of some of those alerts as well, because I'm not using them. And so, yes, it's pushed back down, right, in the 3 hour, but you also have this pull back up. And if you look at it, even at the moment, it's still pushing back up here, right? And you'll get pullbacks and push it, but this has actually come back and matched up structure of this engulfing candle here. If this was truly a downtrend continuation, right? This would not break or would not even match up that engulfing candle. It would push up here somewhere and then push back down again. So I'm not totally convinced that this is still going to continue in a downtrend. So you got knocked out at break even, so you preserved capital, Darren. So there's no love lost for it. It's just a trade that you were in a period of time that didn't cost you anything, and you got a bit of experience. Of potentially stop hunting. Right. So one of the things that you may have, and this could potentially go down further, but what, you've got 1, 2, and maybe that's where you probably got stopped out because you were sort of like 2 back from. Like after it's come out of this consolidation, you could have been down near the bottom of this trade, this point here. I mean, I got knocked out as well because mine was also probably in a similar position to you. I mean, it's just interesting to see that they've pulled back, stop hunted, taken people out because it's down just below that point, and now they've taken off back in the buy direction. The next thing is observation only. Will it break this high up here, or will it break the low down here? I'm just going to put 2 lines right now. Horizontal raise. You want to know, I'm just going to put it up at this point, and then I'll put another one down here at, let's see if it breaks that first, okay? Where it's, I mean, you could look at that. Well, there's a number of them there or there. Let me just go down to the bottom of that box where we, create the box for that sort of consolidation piece to see whether it would break out. That was just a period in time when we looked at it, right? Now, is this just a pullback that it's done to take out a whole lot of people to then take it in the direction that they want to take it? Got to remember, this is Euro and AUD. Euro has traditionally been, or for a long time, been much stronger than the AUD. What's it going to need to do to have this as a swing high? This is going to have to pull up and then drop down and break even further. Yeah. If though it pulls up, does a pullback and then breaks this high, well, we're still continuing in the buy direction. Just market structure. Really simple. Nothing complicated. Yeah. So at the moment, I'm still in a buy from down here. I'm not doing anything about this. I can't remember where is my, hang on a minute. I've just got to have a look and see where's my stop loss in relation to that. Oops, sorry. I'm looking over here. Actually, I'm in 2 trades for this one. Oh, I'm still not. Oh, no. Oh, I'm still in that trade. Oh, there's another one here somewhere that I'm in. Sorry. I'm in another one anyway here somewhere, positive. And I've only been knocked out of one. Actually, I better put it in. Oh, no. This is a Euro AUD. Where is it? Sorry. 169242. That must be it. Yeah, it is. I'm still in this actual trade, but I'm in drawdown at the moment. I must have even bigger stop loss. Where is it? 167087. Oh, well, I must have put it. Okay. Yeah, I did. I put it down the bottom of the box. I never moved it. Okay, I didn't put it there, and I haven't been knocked out. So I'm sitting. It's down here, related to that entry up there. So I've obviously padded it out a fair bit more, Darren, maybe than what you had.
Yeah.
That's 200 pips stop loss, right? And maybe that's just luck or not luck. I mean, if it pulls back further, it's back down here, and it does stop me out, then I'm going to lose more than yours was break even, so that's okay. Mine would be a loss if it does. I'm still on the bus for a continuation buy. You look at it, it does these things. It does these pullbacks. These are only little pullbacks. That's a significant one that it's needed to do. I'm on the bus for it to continue into the buy, only because I still think that the euro is stronger than the Aussie dollar. That's all I need to consider, and that's what I see on the daily.
Are you waiting for it to break above that?
Above here, yeah.
Before you start adding more positions? Actually,
not necessarily. What I may wait for is for this trade here that I'm actually still in. Okay, let's put it that way. Put it this way. And maybe I'm sort of like really against the strategy as such. Because if you see that red on the daily, and this is already red, probably you should have got out of trades technically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if this does pull up back, whatever it does here, pulls up and it does break this high, it will need to put this trade that I'm currently in into positive. Yeah. So if it does do that and puts this into positive, pulls up and then pulls back down to even to that entry, I may put another entry at that point, Darren.
Yeah.
If though, in the event it pulls up, doesn't make this positive and pulls back down and knocks me out, well, I'm out of that trade and I'm going to get out of this, the trade that I'm in from down here.
Yeah.
Because it's pulling back down. It is the end of the trading week. For me, it's the last 24 hours roughly. And so this is where this strategy is way more relaxed. Yeah. It's like, I don't care. I'm just sitting here letting it do its thing. Yeah. And yes, I've given up some of my profits that were in my trading platform. Like I was back to like nearly 15% profit, and now I'm back to over 20% profit again. Just purely from the market, and it did its pullback, and I'm just waiting to see. Now it's sort of pushing back in the same direction that it was last week and earlier this week before it did its pullback. And I think a whole lot of currencies did this little blip, like a stop hunt, if you notice it. And I've noticed it do this over the 5 weeks or so that I've been sort of focused on this strategy as such. And I haven't got too nervous about it, being more relaxed though. And it's just coming back around again. So maybe opportunities for other trades. I'm just sort of watching it. That's all. I'm doing it at the moment, and I'm in positive trade. So
Do you want a number?
yeah, go for it, Alistair. I think we've
One.
already, huh?
Hey,
Yeah, go for it.
What you got? 1.6. What have you got? What's that white line? 1.69.
242. That's where
Okay.
I entered.
All right. Okay. 1.69750.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hang on a minute.
And I don't usually look at daily candles. A massive daily candle.
750. I'm going to change that. Like I'm putting lots on here. Actually, I'll do a purple because that will be Alistair's, maybe
Colour.
Alistair's ones. Yeah, hang on a minute. Hang on. I got a 50, wasn't it?
Yeah.
169750. Yeah. Okay.
And if you put,
and that's right. This could pull back up to that point,
if you
and then come back down again too.
It's on the 70. It's smack on the 71. On if you put a fib on that drop.
From there down to there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
From the
top up here.
Well, I've got it on the daily time frame, so I just
it's a 71 just there. Absolutely. Yeah. It's funny how you can see these things now without even putting some of the things on. So I'm in the situation currently. I'm just looking at this going like, okay, yeah, it did this pullback. Yes, I went into drawdown on this trade. I'm still positive on the other trade. Like I'm not really, and then the last 24 hours, when I looked at it yesterday, sorry, let me explain it. Sorry. That was our session just there at that candle there. And then when I looked at it in the Asian session and it started to pull back up, I just went, hang on a minute. Like, because remember I said I was going to look at it and see, do I get out of a trade? Do I get into into a sell? Do I get into, do you know what I mean? Or do I wait? I waited. And then over the last 24 hours, basically, it's just pulled up higher. And I mean, the wick has matched out, but price hasn't gone higher than this engulfing sell. The point is now, will it push up higher in this 24-hour period? Yeah, the last part of the trading week, right? It might do a little dip at the end because, before New York closes, which is my Saturday morning and what would it be, your Friday night sort of thing. So this is just a wait and see. A lot of this strategy is just to wait and see what happens. Yeah. But basically for me, it was like Tuesday is where this started to pull down. Yeah. So the Tuesday, Wednesday, this is the Thursday just gone. Now this is about to click into my Friday. Well, it is my Friday, but it depends on what it is for you. All right. So that's where you can sort of like, okay, at this point, as it's going down, you think, no, I've got to get out of the buy into a sell, and then it just pulls back up again. So if you hadn't got into a sell here somewhere, you'd be in significant drawdown at the moment. Yeah. This is just what the market does. Pushes up and gets people to get into it, like spikes up there, then pulls back down, comes back to that point and then drops out. Then it starts pulling back up again. Lovely. Now, if you were on a daily trader, you might get this sell, you might get that sell, but then all of a sudden it's going to take you back. It depends on, like, you're fortunate, the people in the UK, for example, you're going to get a London Open and you're going to get the New York Open as well to be able to see what the momentum of that push is. Okay, so that's your AUD. It's just because we've talked about it a fair bit the other day. Questions, feedback, concerns, what the hell? Can I understand this? Anything you want to ask?
All makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, the trend is still upwards, isn't it? So
on the daily, it is. This is just a pullback that it's done. And now it could continue down, right? We don't know. But, like, hey, this is part of this is part of your experience as a trader, and it depends on what account size, what margin, you know, what amount of drawdown you're willing to live with or not live with, and how we follow this strategy on the trend bar. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. How are you traveling, Paul? Nervous?
No, I'm quite relaxed, fine. I'm in 3 trades, GBP, USD.
We'll have a look at that. Yeah.
I'm a little bit up on that. Well, quite a bit up, actually.
Yeah, good.
Why that I'm still in. Been in for a few days. And
Which one was that? Sorry, Paul.
GBP, USD.
Yeah, and
CAD JPY.
a CAD JPY. Okay, no worries. Yeah.
And Aussie dollar, US dollar.
Okay, Aussie US. Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
I've been up and down on the CAD JPY. I was in profit quite a lot on Tuesday, but it keeps coming back. It's going up and down, basically.
Yeah, it's doing this. Yeah. But what it is it's very similar. So you look at that Euro AUD and this CAD J, the CAD weakened off the Japanese yen. Sorry, the CAD strengthens and the Japanese weakens, and then it pulls back down. But what we are seeing is this is a swing high and a change of direction currently. And this is a pair that I'll show you. I think eventually we're going to get a push back up, but it is stop doing that. It is a pair that I started following this pair up here. I got into that trade, missed out that one because I didn't follow the pattern. It came back down. So this pair as such tends to be very much a sort of like MW up down type pair at this part of its trading sort of history at this time of where this currency is.
Yeah, I know
but if you come to the 3 hour though, and Darren knows this about me, I got into a trade over here somewhere back on 11th of August. And it pushed up, up. I was in profit here, drawdown there, profit there. And it's pushed up now. I'm probably, where's the CAD J? Yeah, I'm up about 10 pips or in a sell. I'm in a sell on this, right? So, but what I'm seeing is if you look at the structure of the market, see where it's pushed up? It tried to push up in this box. It pulled back down. It pushed back up again to match that high. Yeah. And now it's gone down, created a lower low. Now it's pushed back up, but it hasn't necessarily broken this point or even where my entry is. And now it looks like it's pushing back down again. It may push up past it, but look, it's a journey. Like, I don't care. As I said, I'm in this since 11th of August, and Darren knows that I've been kicking myself for ages here, because at some point, if you look at the daily, get out of there, GU. Ooh, okay. At some point, this is going to break that high up here. Yeah. So at some point, I'm going to either, if this pulls back down enough, I am probably going to put my stop loss at break even. Yeah. Because ultimately, what I really want to get into is a buy. But what the market structure is showing me at the moment is that it's still pulling down. Yeah, I can't see it breaking down the bottom here, over here on the daily, which is, it'd need to come down here, but it may. So if it does, I'll put my stop loss at break even, and then I'll probably follow it down, trail it down with two, what do we call them, Darren? Two pullbacks. Yeah. And then if it comes back up again, I can be, and then if this changes and we get into a significant green, or it breaks up the structure, if it breaks up here over the top of that, then I'm into buy. Yeah. But this is just over a number of weeks. It's just been sort of playing sideways. I get into drawdown, and then I get into positive, then I get to drawdown, and I get into positive. So that's it, Paul. Same sort of thing as you, mate.
Yeah.
And it's only because it's just doing this sideways.
Done all right out to GU.
Sorry?
I've done all right out to GU. I took some partial profits the other day on that one.
Yeah, okay, we'll have a look at that. Let's look at the GU. Oh, you took profits, okay. Okay, that is, and it continues to sell out. All right, look at it down here. Where am I? I'm on a GU. I'm up 450 pips on that one from here down to where it currently is. And this is just an sorry?
It's at 6% I'm up on that at the moment.
You are good. Lovely. Lovely.
I took 2.5% profit the other day, yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So if I may ask, and you don't need to answer, Paul, what percentage of your account, and you don't tell me what the account is, but what percentage of your account have you put on that trade? Is it quarter, half, one? Roughly.
1%.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is much lower sort of percentage of my account that I'm putting on each trade at this point. But that's, yeah, that's a gutsy effort. When I start getting this more under my belt, I'm certainly going to be looking at, so I've been going like a quarter or even lower. I'll be starting to look at 0.5%, because what the main aim for me of this, and I think I've said this, Alistair probably can remember, what my main aim for this is to trade this on a funded account.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you about that, Brian, because I'm doing this strategy on a £100 account. So I'm just putting in minute trades, I don't like using virtual accounts, because I've always preferred to do a £100 account, $100 or whatever, but do real trades. I prefer it to do it that way. So
makes it real and serious, doesn't it?
Yeah, even on, if I'm only making a couple of quid, it doesn't matter. I'm more interested in the result than the trade than the actual money,
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It does focus you when you put in the entry in the MT4 or whatever. You do, because if you get it wrong, you're screwed.
Well, if you get it right, you profit. so it does. It goes both ways, Alistair.
I'm glad you said that.
So Paul, it is, yeah, that's great. Good on you. I mean, mentors of mine have said that, you start out with a demo. Once you sort of get yourself sorted with that, go on to a small live account, because it's serious. It changes the psychology in the way that you trade. And as Alistair said, when you go to put a trade on, you go, hang on a minute, is this one I want to put on? So that's good. Yeah. And then, so if I come back to the funded trader sort of situation, all of them have a maximum drawdown, whether it's a daily or whether it's an overall drawdown, they all have drawdowns, maximums on them. And if you go in with, taking a 1%, you are committing, how do I put it? You're committing to that trade at a much higher lot size in a funded account, and you don't have a lot of recourse if things are starting to move in the other direction for you, right? Than the trade you've taken.
Yeah.
So in my experience, it's much better to have trades and that's why I'm practicing with lower lot sizes to see what results are. And it means that you have a much better buffer in a traded, like when it turns on you. If it turns and you're in a number of trades, then you're going to get a higher amount of drawdown with a higher percentage on each individual trade. Yeah. So in my experience is taking much lower percentage on each trade is fundamentally the way to play the funded accounts. Is that clear?
Yeah.
But if you're trading your own account and there's nothing going in front of one, where you can do whatever lot size you want, so, or whatever's sensible within appropriate money management. So yeah, it's that's where it's sort of at the moment. So GU, yeah, it's nice.
This
sort
one
of,
is sitting. It came down and hit the top of my order block again, and it's now at the very bottom of the order block, sitting.
it really sits.
Got a visitor.
Yeah, got a visitor. Oh no, I've got two. Oh god. Hey, hang on a minute. Careful. Yeah. Yeah, and you're correct. If you look over on that daily over there, you look up over here, you can see where it's basically priced now is matched out
just sitting
at that point. Will it break that? Or will it now, after this push down, will it pull back up again to then push back down further? Right? And you can see what it's done here, same sort of thing over the whole, like I put a box on there, it's basically now broken out of the box, pull back up again. And then the last 24 hours, it's dropped back down. So, if you were trading this exactly as the ribbon or as the trend bar is, you would have been out of a sell into a buy, out of a buy into a sell. For me, this is about more of a longer term strategy and going, well, hey, it's not showing me a true turnaround. Oh, careful, Richard. And what it's still doing is it's still in a sell trend. So I'm just following that trend out. Yeah. Anyway, hey, you guys go over there. You go read your book. Go on. Get ready. So God. So I'm not going to get out of any of the cells that I'm in for this currently because I have it's not base or whatever, but I'm following the process of this. It did pullbacks there, did a pullback up in there, and now it's dropped back down again. These are just stop hunts against the trend for it to drop further down. And you can see where there's still imbalance and whatever you want to call it down here from that big push up. Right now, that push up there, this has come back, but it's broken that whole push up. It's broken structure down. It's sat around for a while, and now the decision for it is to continue down. So the British pound against the US dollar is stronger than what the British pound is. And you can see what it did, even when this was London Open here, and even in New York, it just continued. Will that continue down? No, of course, it'll do a pullback up. Yeah, it has to do that. That's what it did there. Push down, did a pullback. Push down, do a pullback. But this would potentially, if it's going to, if it's broken this down here, which I think it has. Yes, it has. All right. If you look over here, oh gosh, 3 hours, it's going to be there. If you look at that point there, that is, it's going to be hard. That's a long wick there, right? But in actual fact, that's price there, and price has gone further than what the wick is, even on the. Does that make sense? Just over here, see, that's a wick on the daily, and price itself has actually gone past it. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's a bit, yeah.
It will pull back. It's going to pull back up. How far, I don't know. But this is an opportunity potentially for it to get into another sell, or you're going to watch it and say, well, does it break structure up here? Yeah.
Well, it's hit that resistance 3 times and then it's come past it, those 3 drops there,
Correct.
yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. And then it's tried there, and then it's just dropped back out as a target. Okay, well, that's GU. What was the other one you said you were in? You were in a...
Aussie US.
Oh, yeah, the Aussie US. Yeah. Aussie dollar week. It's just, remember this week, it's pulled back up and then back down again, right? I'm pretty sure I got knocked out. Hang on, let me just have a history. Yeah, I got knocked out of out of 1. Yeah, I got knocked out of 1 as a sell for that pullback. I obviously didn't have a, for that entry. Oh, no, I think it was for this one, for that trade I got in. I'm pretty sure this one, let me have a look and see where I'm at. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this trade here, I'm still in. So wherever the stop loss was for it. So let me show you. Whoops, I'm gonna have to pull back down here. Yeah, this is when I wasn't that diligent. So I'm in a trade from way up here. All right, I think my stop loss is here somewhere, and then I'm in a trade from a trade there somewhere over here, and it pulled back up. I was in drawdown. Now I'm back into positive on it. Yeah. And this trade down here that I took there, I got stopped out.
Well, I got in at 64242. 64242. Just about.
Yeah, somewhere. But you should be in slight profit at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it depends on where your stop loss was. When you got into that, where did you put your stop loss? Up here somewhere, or?
That was going to be my next question, Brian, actually. I've not.
Oh, you haven't got a stop loss on it?
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, where would you?
Oh, no. Okay, so rule 1. Rule 1. Rule 1 is when you put a trade on, place a stop loss. All right, you need to, because there's a couple of things. It's what I'm sort of trying to train another guy too. When you're putting a trade on, from a money management perspective, you have to work out where you're going to put your stop loss, because your stop loss it regulates what that lot size will be. Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not even thinking about that at the moment, because I'm just putting on a 0.01, which I can't take partial profits or do anything with it other than close it, right? So, because I don't want to have to, I'm not wanting to calculate it for whatever reason, okay? So don't be too concerned. So for you to calculate, if you got into a trade here, for example, I would place my stop loss at 2 pullbacks. So you got,
Big poo.
Oh yeah, okay. Hang on a minute. Sorry. Can you guys, can you hang on just for a minute? We've got a emergency here just for a second. Is that all right?
Yeah, needs must crack on.
Yeah, just hang on, hang on a second.
We'll sing a song. when I got back in today. I did one thing. I had a whole swathe of alarms set. A load of them. I deleted everything. I'll start again. I deleted them all. I kept a couple, kept 2, loads. I did it. I started doing it individually, and then I thought, oh no, this is a whole lot. It's bar 2. I'm sure it was a good idea. I felt quite good afterwards.
Well, sorry about that interruption.
And that, Brian, now, I mean, sorry, Brian, you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. It's all right. No worries. It was a small crisis that I had to avert. You don't want to know.
Been on the curry the night before last night.
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I'll tell you, my grandson, he's just learning so he's basically out of nappies. I mean, stuff, and so he decided. So he takes himself now to have a crap. So he had to sort of organise things because it becomes a crisis if I don't. All right, and his parents aren't awake, and
there is a phrase for that, but anyway, carry on.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's keep going. Where was I at? Sorry. So yeah, 2. That's where it was. Stop loss. So Paul. So what I look at is from where your entry is. Yeah. I look at basically 2 pullbacks to the left, right? So for example, if you're going to get into a sell, you see this here, it pulls up and you go in and you go like, okay, I'm going to get into this as a sell, and it pulls up. You need to have over to the left, depends where. So that's a pullback, that's a pullback, that's a pullback, right? So you've ended here. So I go 1, 2, maybe here. It just depends. So at least 2 that you want to, because if it does a stop hunt, it's going to take out and changes direction totally. It's going to take out at least 1, if not, maybe not the 2. Sorry? Cup of water. Go and get your drink bottle. Go get your drink bottle, guys. Don't turn the light on though, all right?
No,
Okay. Huh? It doesn't matter. Okay. This morning is so yeah, so it's 2 sort of pullbacks. Yeah, that I would use, Paul, for a stop loss. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because a lot of the stuff that Tom had introduced, that, and just experience on my side too, is if they're going to stop hunt, they will spike back up or down a significant amount and then take it continue in the direction. So you don't want to sort of lose the momentum of that trade that you're in, unless it's going to change the direction totally. So then it comes back to the fact of what percentage of your account have you placed to that trade. That relates to how much stop loss is. Because if you go, for example, where is it here? So if you go to MyFX book and you go to I don't know if you do this, Paul, or not. Say, for example, if you're going to trade what is it, AUD USD, for example, and you're in British pounds and your account size is like 100, and then you want, I don't know what ratio, but if you stop, that's going to be required. But if your stop loss is, say, I don't know, 150 pips, for example, and you want to do 0.25 or 0.50, right, or a half, and then you calculate, and what it does is it gives you a lot size, right? So 100 pounds on doing that, and if you want 0.5%, you can't, it's a 0 lot size. So 0.01 is the lowest you can go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But if you're putting, say, 1% there, so even with 150 pips at 1%, you still don't have a
to your.
the lowest amount you can put on.
And that will be watching me.
Yeah, so that's the this is a circus.
Pa,
Yes. I'm talking to these people here.
now Hugo and me go at the same time to our lesson.
Oh, that's good.
So Dad
Swimming one.
yeah. So Dad can just totally just take us both.
Okay, that's good. Rightio.
Ready?
Um
Don't.
so yeah, so lot size from that perspective. So you'd need to have a larger size account. Say, for example, if you got 200 in that account, you're still not, all right? So if it's say 300
Yeah.
pound, not, oh, that's at one, sorry. If I put it,
Oh, so you mean.
if I put it 0.5%, no, still not. Just giving it, just calculating.
Faster again.
No, still not. Yeah, ooh, we're getting close.
Tomorrow's Saturday, Hugo. Is it? I know. Is it?
Wow. So if we change that to,
And just drop.
nah.
Go and take your stop loss down a bit. Drop it to 200.
Yeah, I know, but you don't want to change
I know.
that.
I'm just curious to see what it says. That's all.
Yeah, I will.
No.
So if I change that, then you'll, oh no, even at 100. Okay.
Now, is that close? Yes.
Wow. That's the thing. These are all the, here we go. Now, to get 0.25% on 800 even, you need 50 pips or less.
Okay. Now.
So even, like if you've got 100 pound, it's like there is no way you're going to be able to,
You ready?
even a 20 pip. Yeah, you need to have a really tight stop loss at that at 0.25% to even make it. So
Whoa.
anyway, I think, one of the things I know, it's really crucial to understand that sort of money management side of things for it to work. Yeah.
Okay.
So so you need a, either a larger account or because you really can't. Please.
Oh.
It's too loud here, please. Come on. Take your drink bottle. Come on. So come over there. Thank you. So you really can't play with the amount of stop loss. That's really determined based upon the structure of the market and the trade. Yeah.
But I'm still in pretty much all these AUDs and NZDs for sells. And that they all survived. They all survived that big
Good,
pullback.
Darren, yeah. And so am I, except for this one trade.
Yeah.
Except for the one that I took down here.
And they all survived because of that 2 pullback rule.
Yeah.
I got a
Yeah, good.
I thought
Yeah, well, you see, I got in down here, and that's like 1, 2, but you can see it spiked above there. So I sort of lost out on that trade, and that's okay from my perspective, but I'm still looking at this, like, see on the daily, if you did it on the daily jump, see that pullback there, and then it continues down. So I think it'll break this low down here, or a low here even. I mean, it may do a pullback up before it does, but so what? So I'm still in 2 significant trades. This would have been a nice spot here when it turned here, but I wasn't really sure because it did a turn there and there. I actually wanted to pull down back up again, not break the high here, and that's where I'd get in. And that'll probably be next week. I'll get in another AUD USD.
I'm going to feel.
Yeah. But you know, like I'm in profit for two of them at this point in time.
Yeah.
So yeah. These guys who aren't normally awake at this time in the morning, it's like 6:30. That's why I normally do this session, because it would be a nightmare at any other time. Anyway. So I think, you know, we've had, if you look through the week, this is like back on the end of last week, the start of this week, we've had this 1 week. It's like, for me, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There's been a reversal in the overall trend direction from the daily. And then now at the end of the week, it's starting to pull itself back down again. Again, AUDs, if you look at them, AUD CAD, that did exactly the same thing. See, it did the pullback and then back down again. AUD CHF, up, and it looks like it's pulling back down again now too. AUD JPY, pull up, it's pulling back down again. Don't worry about AUD NZD. That did the same thing, but it's also coming in. AUD Singapore, see it pull back, but it's like AUD US, and then you got the AUD US. Right? The point will be, will it break this low down here? Right? But if it comes down here, pulls back, and then I see it to drop off, I'm into another sell. Yeah. So that's all the AUDs, and you're right. If you come down to the NZDs, same similar thing. See the pullback, and now it's dropping back out. AUD, NZD, CHF, same sort of thing. NZD, JPY, same thing. NZD, USD, same thing. Yeah. Can you see the patterns are the same? Where am I with this? The USD CHF, yeah, pushing up. All right. I'm looking at this to change direction, but it hasn't yet.
Yeah, looking for a big drop, has it?
Yeah, I'm looking for a drop out of that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it has pushed a lot higher over the last 24 hours, which is okay. I'm not too concerned. I have a stop loss set, 2 pullbacks. We'll see how we go. All right. That's where it's at.
USD CAD, are you still in that, Brian?
Let's have, yeah, I'll have a look at that.
Yeah, I'm still in that. Been in that.
That is, I am in, yeah, USD CAD. Yeah, I'm up on that one. Yeah, I got in over here somewhere, and basically come back once, come back twice, and now it's pushed off. Lovely. All right, and it's continuing that push up. And it did through the week, you can see it did a pullback again, and now it's pushed off in the same sort of direction. A bit like what the AUD and NZD is doing. They just have this hiccup bit, make people nervous and get out, and then they just take it and continue that trend direction. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
This is a very basic question, but how do you split your screen so you've got 3 hour and daily at the same time? I can have 2 different pairs, but I've not worked out how to have the same pair 2 time frames.
Up here, if you have, it depends on the level of trading view you have, but if you have 2 like that, yeah, you select that 2. And then if you go to this drop down, is it in the drop down? No, it's not. Hang on a minute. Let me try and remember where it is. Is it in the? Hang on a minute. Right click. Is it in on? No, it's not there.
What are you trying to do?
Easy.
Have them as the same currency and the same.
just go into your first currency and then click on the other window and
Put it back
choose it
over.
in the box like you'd normally choose it. And it comes in.
Yeah, no, it's not that.
Easy.
If you want to apply the indicators to both, you go to the one that you have the indicators, and then you just say apply this to both. So you get that. Hang on, I'll try and. Oh no, it's here. No, it's not there.
It's 65.
Thank you very much. Not the layout. Thank you. Lord. That's not it. What am I doing? Oh no, it's here. Oh, bloody hell. When you select the two, you got the two there.
Yeah.
You have symbol. If you click that symbol on, it will give you the same symbol across both. And you have crosshairs. So when I put the crosshairs on the daily, it'll show the crosshairs across on the 3 hour at the same crosshair point. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can have it at the same, what are called interval changes. I don't want the time or the interval to be the same. I want that one to be set daily and this one to be set 3 hour. See, if you put, I think it's on interval or time, I can't remember which is it, time. Look at the single chart, it'll get scrolled to display the same point. No, interval. If you have interval, it means both of them will be on the same time frame. So all I've got is symbol and crosshairs selected when I have that too. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I'll play around with that, but thanks for that. That's helpful. Thank you.
Sometimes they move stuff around, but yeah, it's in here. This is what I was looking for. This is the syncing in the layout. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how, and then what it will do is, because it has that same layout, if I put a trend line on one, it'll go on the other, and the crosshairs, as you can see, are the same across them and all that sort of stuff. Any other questions?
You got
We're going to go and save the house, I think.
Well, parents aren't awake. Yeah, that's okay. So I'll look at all of this. So this is my last session for this week. Whatever happens, I might message stuff in the group, in the chat. But what we'll do is I'll be back on, hopefully back on at the pre-market, so like an hour and a half before market opens for next week. We'll have a look at what happened in this last 24-hour period, and then look at how we're going to approach, say, for next week, and where I'm at with it. How's that sound? No worries. And I think this week has been a real lesson that, you know, if you're in trades from previous, and it's a bit like what, you know, speaking to Darren yesterday, it's like, well, it depends on when you got in the trades to when those pullbacks occur to how much you get put, you know, draw down in your account before potentially it's going to continue. So
yeah, it's been the first test of my sort of mindset on this strategy, I think, this week.
fantastic. Yeah.
We've managed to survive it. So I'm still in these cells, the AUDs and NZDs. So
Yeah. And it may turn around, Darren, but the point is, I don't feel that it's the finish of the overall sell trend in the higher time frame.
I mean, the thing is, I didn't sort of close the positions, panic, close the positions, and start jumping into buys, which I might have done in the past.
Yeah.
You know, just sort of took stock of it and thought, no.
There is though, Darren, in the back of your mind, you need to know that the pullback that occurred this week was a significant pullback from the overall trend. So what's that telling you? What's that sort of indicating? Think future wise.
You have those.
Well, a potential longer term trend change, you mean? Or it's running out of steam. The trend is running out. Good.
Yes, exactly. So we're going to have to be more, well, not more because it's quite right, but you know, because it's done this pullback after a longer term run down, it's sort of like, oh yes, maybe we're running out of a bit of steam in it. It may not continue too far further. It may not sort of, you know, keep running in that sell direction, those things. So you just got to be mindful of that. That's all. That's all I'm sort of putting it out there. Okay, rightio. Let's stop sharing there. So till next week, we'll see how we go. Keep plugging along. Conserve capital. Increase, like I'm, you know, like in the early stages of this strategy, I was just taking a trade like a flagship and then just like watching it keep running. And then I started taking subsequent trades, basket trades or stacking trades. And so I'm in that sort of part of it now. And a couple of them in that pullback of this week gone have knocked me out, right? So it's gone back to, from when I got in, it's gone back to pullbacks or either buys or sells, whatever direction, and taken that trade out. But other trades I've had previously, I'm still in with. So still on the bus, lose a couple, you know, but nothing significant. So it's the way to go. All right then.
Good, right?
No worries.
Thanks. Have a good weekend.
Take it easy. All right then. Till next week. Take it easy. Bye.
Bye.